What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and today we're going to be talking about PRB02 and how it's impacted Sanji. So, a lot of you may have seen that I played it for the PPG Online Regional, and I actually started off incredibly strong. We'll talk about the matchups, how I feel. So, this was the first time I'd ever piloted the deck. And we ended up getting to 5-1, and then everything really fell apart from there, unfortunately. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about just my thoughts on the matchups, and then we'll go through the deck, and then I'll share the final thoughts that I have after piloting the deck. And also, I got to give a huge shout out to Zoro. You guys may be familiar. This guy looks familiar, right? But I literally played his list. I had zero time to test the list. I played 0 games on it going in. So I can't, end of the day, I can't be incredibly upset. But I did learn one thing. UP is unwinnable. But we'll talk about that. But before we dive into the matchups here, real quick, I just want to say a huge thank you again, as you all know. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you found any of the content of value. But huge thank you for 10,000. Of course, my website here, I'll add more stock there. I don't know why it's out of stock, but you can buy all the leader cases that you see me use, that you see many other people use here. All this, of course, helps support me, the channel, all my traveling endeavors. We also, of course, have sleeves. And these are also all, I've had all these commissions ready to ship. Ships pretty fast. And then, of course, with any sleeve purchase, you get things too, but also working on expanding to Japanese Dan. You, of course, with every order right now as well, we have got this in stock, working on getting a few more. We'll also, of course, work towards the EBO3 because I'm sure that they're just going to be juiced. But right now, if you add anything, you'll automatically get one of these free with one order, the treasure campaign packs. These, of course, are also coming here in English as dash packs. The cards are not playable, but they're fun and cool. I gave a lot of these out at Vegas, but I can't thank you guys enough. Be sure to check out vamptcg.com if you haven't already. And let's get back in here. So, of course, we were cooking in the kitchen. So, W to Rayleigh. Rayleigh feels incredibly good in the fact that we can hit them a lot harder than they can hit us. Because we're just playing, and then once we play Law's incredibly good because then we can play control for their Luffy. Their Luffy becomes a 4, and it's like you effectively can make them 4K leader. And then Kobe also can KO their Sanji. So if you go and stick down a Kobe on 4, but even if they go 4, you can remove the Sanji, removing a 6K swing at your dome on the next turn, potentially an 8, and it just changes so much dramatically. And then, of course, we play Rayleigh as well. Rayleigh is very good in this matchup, too. Just lets you remove stuff. But, of course, being able to pop the buggies, you go 4. They played out a buggy. You swing, pop, get the go at face while also doing that. So much value, potentially drawing a card. I think Rayleigh's a pretty favored matchup. I beat UP Luffy as my buddy Walter. He didn't see great cards. Only reason I won. Beat a GP Luffy. GP Luffy also feels incredibly good. Round 3. I beat GP Luffy. Once you stick 2 Laws in there, they just can't because their strongest character is going to be a 7. Between that and Mole Pistol, you can just clear everything. You want to just turbo to Mole Pistol, look for Mole Pistol. And like I'll keep any hand that has Mole Pistol, and you'll probably win this matchup unless they see 3 Sanji pudding, but all my ops saw 2. Yeah, game started rough because I didn't have any 2Ks, I remember, and then I could have left the Zoro at 3 and removed a Luffy Taro, but I think I played Rayleigh, I minused it, made it like a 2, and then I minused the Zoro, I think, and then KO'd the Zoro, and then I swung at the Luffy Taro, and I think I should just cleared the Luffy Taro, but it made him feel more confident for going for game. But if he had the 6-drop 7K, I think I would have lost there. But yeah, double loss, stabilized that game. I had to play Blue Doflamingo, and honestly, I think that game was incredibly winnable. I just played it incredibly wrong. I had 0 idea of the game, and again, 0 games on the deck overall. I kind of figured it out as I was playing and really kind of figured all of that out. And then, so that was what it was. So that was my first loss. Then I beat Rayleigh. Second Kobe off of life. Our low Kobe off of life was huge there. But Doflamingo, if you go second, you play Law, KO the Teach. Then you play Law. Or you play Kobe, KO Teach. Then you play Law. And then you kind of just get to clean everything up. And you're just Giga up. I don't think you lose from there. Because all their bodies come in rested. So you'll just swing at it. Or you'll swing at their life, then you get to go and make them 4K leader and cost them a bunch of cards. Or you can just go 7 at 4 and you're probably going to get it. Up to you how you wish to operate. But there was another game here, round 6, GP Luffy, I won. I won barely enough counter. Incredibly close game. Then round 7, I lost to UP Luffy. So it was my second loss. And then I lost another one to UP Luffy. And then I beat a limb. And I lost another one to UP Luffy, which I fake crashed out, but I was genuinely upset. The deck cannot beat UP Luffy, and that's kind of what's been in my mind. But of course, we'll kind of go through the deck, how I've operated it. And so for those unfamiliar, Sanji's Leader ability allows you to give any character with that's up to a cost of 8 rush, as long as it doesn't have an on-play. And it's an incredibly relevant effect and very strong. But it's kind of like playing Shanks too. So it's like aggro meets Shanks in the fact that I'm usually only playing one body a turn. And you kind of keep a decent amount of cards in your hand. It's like the late game. Because a lot of your body's strong. But you try to stay healthy so that way you can play cleanup with Law. Is kind of how I was doing it. There were some where you just go aggro, kind of like Rayleigh, but you can afford to play a little slower depending on what you see, and you just don't want to go face for face. But there are cards like the 6/8s that really go to distance because you're going to organically swing 8, and they're going to have to give you 2 cards before doing anything. And of course, when you turn your 5 sideways as well, they either have to choose to activate it then or not. But a lot goes into it, but you can play out so many unique cards and give them rush. Nami is, of course, our searcher. The biggest thing is our bodies and our rushers are going to be Punk Hazard and Straw Hats. So we've got Sanji, Nami, and Frankie as ideal bodies and rushers. This, of course, allowing us to search with both Nami and Virgo for these bodies. Nami having more targets because the rest of our build really just being Straw Hats, and then, of course, being able to find Mole Pistol as well. But Virgo, of course, allowing us to find this card, which is actually, this is the 10-layer Igloo, but this card is very strong. I was like, why not play the other one? But this came up a lot and has been really good. I just fresh off a W at locals too, so very over the moon with this card. But so we have this as a target. Punk Hazard is also Law, so we have Law as a target as well. So we have a lot of targets for both, but I've still managed to whiff a lot of Virgos because we've got 12 right here, or 16, and it might even be me just not paying attention and realizing one of these are searchable but I felt like I was whiffing, but it didn't matter too much. But you've got 21 targets, so you have a ton of targets. Almost half the deck is a target. So in theory, you shouldn't whiff because you got the Igloo, you've got Law, which is your ideal search. We play this effectively to find the Law. I wish it said Navy sometimes, but then I remember Smoker. And 2 Chopper. This Chopper came up a lot. I really think he nailed this build overall. Chopper came up a lot. You can sit it down, protect your bodies, because a lot of times, if you can establish this early, depending on the matchup too, it can be incredible. Just that way, like when you turn one of these sideways, it gives so low value, because they can really try to tax your hand for some of these, because you try to stay healthy, but then they can also try to like tax for these. Sanji, this card is incredible. It's so much better just because, like, against Blue Purple Luffy or any matchup you really want to go aggressive, on 3 you can play this, go 6, pop a life, go 7. Against like Bonnie, you can also go like, again, 6, pop a life, go 7, and just continue like ride that wave. And then it works well with this too. So we don't play Diable Jambe, but we do have this. So you could play this out, use its ability. It's a 7. You spent 2 Dawn, play this, and then you can still swing 15 at life. Because you gain 2, so he becomes a 5. and you play this, and so he's a 7, and you should have 6 left. 6 left? 13 maybe? Am I mathing wrong? I thought it was 15, but I guess it's not. Because he makes himself, so then you have to pay 2. No, it's 13. So you can go 13 at life. My bad. But I just did that play. This is like the best play. This is the second best one, is playing Sanji, then playing this, then going at face. Because you can do that for 11. But this is the best one. Especially, like, you can also play this. If you play this the turn before you're going to do it against something that can't remove it, then you play this, you can go 17 lethal. Because you can use this ability. But you have to make sure you have a life. But so that's a huge combo. But yeah, playing this on 3, playing this in late game as well can also come up just for an extra hit at the face, because it's going to be your strongest swinger. Sanji, incredible. You play it down on 3. You swing against blue-purple Luffy. You can go 4-4. You can go 6 into Law. A lot of times I'll save it 2, but then they somehow find a way to remove it, and I just go cry myself because they play the 1 card. I'll give them 2 2Ks, and they'll play the card. I'm hoping to have Krolazor. We talked Krolazor on here. Sorry if I got your name wrong, but I'm hoping to have him on here to kind of do like a masterclass on Sanji, because he's got more experience, but I gained a lot through the regional. And so we can go back and forth, share some expertise, things that we've learned, and you guys can learn the best. So make sure you're subscribed for that. But yeah, I mean, this is textbook 3, 5, 6. They swing into it. You can again save it and then draw a card. Like, if you're gonna hit them, because then you go 5, 6, 7 the next turn, and they have to remove it, and then you're gonna get a card, and then you're gonna be like, oh, then you're gonna be like 7, 7, 6, 7, 7, because you're gonna play down the Law, or you can play down like a Beckman and do removal. Chopper, this card, of course, searchable 2K. I never actually hard played this card. Maybe that was wrong, but I usually used it for a 2K, which comes up playing the Virgo to find a 2K. This is your only target, so just keep that in mind. We play 12 2Ks. If you really need a 2K, Nami's going to be your better searcher, because Nami can find this and every other 2K in your deck has 12 targets, whereas Virgo has 4, but Virgo does have this, so depending on how much counter you need, you can find it. And of course, we have Frankie. When your opponent activates an event, all plus 2,000. This never really had a moment to shine either. A lot of times, this is ideal for like blue purple or green purple. Green purple, of course, I really want to see this. So I don't usually get to establish a lot of board. I've stuck a Kobe and defended it for all my worth, which is pretty decent because he replaces 1 card. But so that way I have this to remove them. If I have to play this on 4, they play theirs on 5. I go 6. I'll attach 1 here. And then I will play this KO, swing 6, draw a card, attach 1 to the leader, swing 6, and things like that. But Frankie usually doesn't get a lot of value in those scenarios. So I think this could be replaced, but if you do get to go wide, if you have more, because so what's cool about this is if you play him out, he gets the buff too. So if you have 2 characters, you play this, you're going to get the extra 2 on both those characters, but he's going to buff himself and you can give him rush. So effectively, you give yourself 1 extra card you can acquire from your opponent for free on the premise that you have 2 other bodies that haven't attacked yet. So that's pretty sweet about this card, but it never really came up. Kobe's the MVP. If this card was a 4/6 during your opponent's turn, it'd be the greatest card in the game. The fact that this is a 7 in Smoker makes me want to play Smoker, because that's just unheard of. Your opponent can never remove this, and you're just going to draw infinity. And it's the same thing as a Vonkov theory. This card's just a really strong card. And then, of course, when attacking, you can KO a 3K or less. This card is incredibly relevant. You can KO Bonclay. You can KO Buggies. I KO'd an Onami, which actually takes away aggression from Katakuri. Yamato, you can KO their blocker. Just a lot of different things here where this comes up. Incredibly strong card, plus the draw card. So if you give up 2 for this, then you're going to draw for turn, draw for this. You kind of break even. I've got Nami, 5/7, just a vanilla. Punk, Hazard, Straw Hats, easily searchable. Frankie, 6/8. Really good if they don't hit ramp and you play this down to apply pressure for blue-purple Luffy. But again, matchup still feels incredibly unwinnable. But they have to Mihawk this or Red Hawk it. So if they can't Mihawk and they're going to 8, this feels a lot stronger. Because you get to hit them with it, then you get to play this and they can't remove it. And you get to kind of like do a bunch of pokes and possibly like 8s at them. But this is the ideal. If they gonna Mihawk, you want to play this that way. They'll make it a 5, and then you're gonna give them a 2K, and you go your turn, and you can keep hitting them, but they can't remove it. Beckman, this card actually came up a lot. Not a lot, but this card was actually very relevant. Being able to go Law into this is a form of removal and incredibly powerful. I like Beckman because if you're at 10, you could Law, play Beckman, then play a Sanji and give Sanji Rush. Same thing here, like Rayleigh. Playing out Rayleigh, then playing out a Sanji and giving Sanji Rush is also incredibly relevant. You could, 1, make a body 3, poke at it for a card with Sanji, or you, of course, can play Sanji and hit 7 at life. And both those are incredibly useful. Same thing here, also Rayleigh plus Tin Layer Igloo is incredibly powerful. You go -2, -3, then you have 5k counter here. Effectively, between these two cards, you can get 10k in counter to kind of keep you going. The biggest thing that I would want is another Rayleigh. Rayleigh felt so good. Really felt so good. But at the same time, Beckman also really had his place. And then there's not a lot of bricks in the deck, thankfully. A lot of the deck is counter, which is huge. Tony Chopper, Rayleigh, and then the Mole Pistol are your only real bricks. But yeah, I really like Rayleigh. Rayleigh's a very strong card. Always has been. Takes a lot of pressure off of you. Plus this. This card was also very strong. I wish there was like a Radical Beam. Because Radical Beam's searchable by Nami. But again, Virgo has searchable targets. This matters for the Virgo ratio too. But then, of course, Mole Pistol. Mole Pistol was the MVP of this deck, by all means. MVP of the deck. It came up so much. Double Mole Pistoling in a turn. Like, you could turn Law sideways, KO 9, KO 7. You just KO 2 7s. Like, so many instances where I've played double Mole Pistol today. Mole Gun, Mole Pistol, whatever it is. This card is phenomenal. I think it's the MVP of this deck. I wish you could play it at 4, because, again, this combo is so strong, but these combos are also so strong. I really want, like, just a little bit more removal, but I would also really like a little bit more. Like, the biggest things I've wanted was, like, a 4-6, but that's just because UP Luffy, and it's like, how can I make UP Luffy better? I've also wanted, like, the Luffy suite, so one thing that I've considered is kind of, like, playing this Luffy, because on 4, you could play out this, reveal 2 events, play out this, attach 1 to your leader, give this Rush 6/6, potentially save this. They have to remove this or that, and you get to go 6 into this. But you don't really get to attach Don here. Also, same thing, like we could play this and it becomes searchable. Hit him 6/6, and then go like 7 and do a lot of stuff here. I feel like this extra Don could go a very long way. That's the big thing that I felt like he was missing against UP Luffy. It's like just a little bit more Don. Also, this card, I think this card's always incredible. The fact you can combine these is also very good. This Sanji, I do wish we kind of had like a Diable, because if you had double Diable in the same way you beat UP Luffy with Rayleigh, you could just go double unblockable. And so that's like a thought in my mind. Just all these, but yeah, I considered like the Rayleigh package, because this into that, playing like, you know, instead of these playing like Diable. But overall, I mean, 3 and 3 here. You could go 4 and 2, I think, because Sanji, I kind of want to see Sanji more, and I wanted to see Frankie a little bit less. I never played Frankie, but I played Sanji a ton. But the ratios feel incredible. They feel very good. Like, the blocker can definitely come up. You want 4 blockers, but I'd maybe go 2 Frankie, up the Sanji. This felt really good, and it's a 2K. 12 2Ks. There were a couple games where I just found myself without 2Ks, which is just so crazy, but this deck will do that to you. But it has a lot of counter. But yeah, let me know what you all think. Are you playing Sanji in PRB02, and what are your lists looking like? And hit the subscribe button. I'll see you all in the next one.